What is normal testosterone for women? Someone asked me this question recently, and the answer is yes, I have seen literature about what normal levels are, but the crazy thing is that they are all different when it comes to testosterone. What is a normal range of testosterone for women? Here's a post from Kelly Casperson from a while ago, also to the point that we tell women their testosterone is normal when it even isn't normal. But the first and biggest issue we have with this question for total testosterone for women is we don't agree. There's no medical consensus across labs and across doctors and clinics and institutions on what constitutes normal, especially low. So this is a random source, Very Well Health website. It's not like an official medical publication. It says 15 to 70 nanograms per deciliter is normal testosterone for women. I tried to find their source for this, and this is the best that I got. So I guess somewhere in these papers or in these books, that information and that source is given. Anyway, more importantly and to the point, I made a little survey. I looked at Quest Diagnostics, which is the lab that I've always used by default, and their measurements for normal is 2 nanograms per deciliter to 45, which is kind of a humongous difference between the Journal of Sexual Medicine, University of Minnesota Rochester, which concurs with testosterone.com and some other websites that I found, which is also completely different than the National Institute of Health's range of normal, which is in the same units of measurement, nanograms per deciliter, 30 to 95. So those are huge differences, especially as you'll see in someone like me with my blood work. Here's my lab work from a couple years ago where my total testosterone is 13. So according to Quest Diagnostics, that's normal, right? But according to every other source on normal testosterone, total testosterone for women, that's below low normal. My doctors are just going off of what Quest says. Every doctor I've ever seen has just gone off of what Quest says. And so they've all said all the time, I'm normal. Even when my testosterone total T was 2, they said it was normal. When that would have been very, very low from anyone else's blood work standards. Then there's a whole other discussion to have about free calculated testosterone, because testosterone in the body, total testosterone is only part of the picture. You have something called sex hormone binding globulin, SHBG, which is a blood protein that binds to sex hormones, especially including testosterone, and renders it not available to the urogenital tissues in the same way. And the amount of that affects how much free testosterone you have. So when you do a calculation, this is an online calculator to determine how much free testosterone you have. But this is not the free testosterone that you find on your blood work. This is free calculated testosterone using your albumin, which is another blood protein, I think, and then SHBG. And so you get this free testosterone here. Mine was 0.15 nanograms per deciliter. I should probably just make a whole other video on this because it gets kind of confusing. But the sexual medicine experts, for example, Andrew Goldstein, Irwin Goldstein, in their book When Sex Hurts, and a lot of their research publications, other sexual medicine experts like Rachel Rubin, they use this calculated free testosterone. The optimum amount, they say, is 0.5 to 0.8 nanograms per deciliter. That's for specifically dealing with the diagnosis of hormonally mediated vestibulodynia, so the kind of vulvodynia that involves the vestibule tissue, which is a specific kind of tissue in the vulva at the entry, where there are glands that are testosterone dependent. So if you don't have enough testosterone, the glands are not secreting protective lubricating substances, and you can get irritation in the glands and the tissue that the glands are supposed to be protecting. Blah. So you can see here that I had a very low 0.15 is not close to 0.5 to 0.8, which is considered optimal. In terms of optimal total testosterone, I don't know the answer to that question. I don't really know what that is, but as you can see from my earlier, we sadly have a very a very wide range of what we're going to say normal is. So it kind of makes it impossible. And I think you would pretty much have to go to a sexual medicine expert, a vulvovaginal health expert, a chronic pain expert. This video isn't the place, but low testosterone and low hormones in general also have a big role in a lot of chronic pain conditions and a lot of chronic pain patients, just even outside of like vulvovaginal and pelvic pain conditions. So the hormone stuff can be pretty important, and it's just really a pity that we don't, the FDA doesn't even approve testosterone for women, much less agree on what a normal amount is. So it's just kind of a hot mess. But the point is, don't just dismiss this as important for you. There might be an important piece of your healing puzzle here if you have low T. But it's kind of going to be up to you probably to look to figure this out and kind of look for the right medical professional who can help you, because obviously there's going to be lots of people who are going to be dismissive because they're just going to go off of stupid Quest Diagnostics and say, oh, you have 2 units, nanograms per deciliter of testosterone, you're fine. I probably could have shared this at the beginning of this video and saved everyone a lot of time. Anyway, here's Rachel Rubin saying there's no perfect number for ideal testosterone range for postmenopausal women, but also, like a tenth of what normal is for men. So 300 to 1,000, and for women, a tenth of that would be 30 to 100 nanograms per deciliter. I'm assuming we're talking nanograms per deciliter, which is still, like, compared to the Quest numbers of 2 to 45, that's a big difference in what we're considering normal. And I think the more modern and forward-thinking people treating female pelvic pain are thinking of much higher numbers than Quest, which I want to kill you, Quest.